Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Kindred Fates video. I hope everyone's at home safe, isolating as best as possible. To make everyone's isolation a little more pleasant, I figured we can go over every unknown, or more accurately, unnamed kinfolk. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of these, but the ones that we do see are definitely quite interesting. If you haven't seen my previous Kindred Fates video going over all of the known kinfolk, I strongly suggest you check it out, as this is sort of like a sequel to that. Now, before we begin, I do want to go over a couple things regarding our every known kinfolk video, specifically the origin of the names Castrix and Kodoki. So in the previous video, I couldn't really figure out where Castrix originated from, and thanks to u/Wellest of Wishes on Reddit, we discovered that Strix is actually a mythological bird of bad omen. Makes sense. Furthermore, while at work, I thought of Ka in the name, and I figured maybe it referred to the sound that a bird makes, like caca. I Dare Corval also pointed that out while I was working on this video script, so perhaps the fact that we both came to the same conclusion means we're correct. As for Kodoki, Adam Decker said that it's likely related to the Kodama forest spirits, which are creatures of Japanese lore that live in trees. Perhaps the acorn design is a reference to that, since acorns also grow on trees. Now, before we jump into these unknown kinfolk, I do have to address the fact that this video is going to be formatted slightly differently from the previous one, solely due to the fact that, unfortunately, we don't have the names of these kinfolk. Some of them have like fan names, but as of right now, there's no official names. As more kinfolk are officially revealed, we'll dissect the origins of their names. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's jump into these unnamed or unknown kinfolk. As though few, they are quite interesting. First up is this king-esque kinfolk. Dubbed by the community, this creature is oftentimes referred to as Meching. It's confirmed to be an evolution of the kinfolk Mechid, which we touched upon in our, once again, every known kinfolk video. It's designed much like Mechid, and Gladius seems to be based off of chess piece. This time it's the, you guessed it, the king piece. It's quite clearly a mecha type like its counterparts, and seems to be floating in place as opposed to standing like the others. It's seen using its hands to charge up some sort of Iron Man-esque attack, so it'll be really interesting to see what this thing looks like rendered in 3D. If you remember, Mechid and Gladius both have a royal form as part of one of the game's Kickstarter promotions, and Meching here is no different. Its royal form is obtained likely by evolving Royal Mechid, and my assumption is that Meching and Gladius are counterparts, being a branch option. Much like what you see with K-Knight and Ember. Instead of the normal red colored lights on Meching's hands, the royal variant uses purple lights, which really solidify that royal theme. Whether or not royal forms are purely cosmetic or have different stats is currently unknown. This next creature is described by the wiki as being a stag with a halo. I mean, to be quite honest, it's a pretty clear and concise description if you ask me. This one doesn't currently have a fan-made name, so I'm going to make one for it. How about Stalo, short for stag and halo. Stalo is seen with glowing eyes. They're colored similarly to the halo on its head, and its eyes give off that kind of ethereal vibe and remind me of the Avatar state from The Last Airbender. I tried to find a similar creature in mythology and came across this creature called the Sacred Deer. It's actually quite an interesting tale from Greek mythology about the goddess Artemis being upset about one of her sacred deer being killed and thus stopped the winds themselves to screw over the Greek army's sail to Troy. There's a lot that happens in this story, but basically the man, aka the king who killed the deer, must sacrifice his daughter, who willingly accepts after first being tricked. Artemis basically sees this and then is moved by the girl's willingness to take a punishment for a crime she didn't commit and instead replaces her for another deer. I don't know why mythology is so weird, but yeah, so Stalo is probably based off of that. I mean, plus, come on, the sacred deer's eyes glow, so yeah, it's official. It's also officially recognized as light type, as a Kindred Fates Kickstarter uses it as an example of such. I guess light types can be spirits, while dark types will probably be like ghosts or perhaps demons. I've dubbed this next one Shark Thing. There's not a whole lot to say about this creature in particular. It appears to be a shark of some sort. The real question is it a kinfolk or just an animal? Do animals even exist in Kindred Fates, or are all the monsters in this world kinfolk? These are some of the answers that only the future will bring. Similarly here, there's not a whole lot to go on regarding this creature we see only in a few frames in the Kickstarter trailer. It appears to be a scarecrow with what looks like a pumpkin for a head, and a cool looking hat. Its arms seem to be made of wood. As for its typing, there are a couple of options here, but I think it's going to be a dark type. Given that ominous, almost Halloween style of this creature, that would be quite fitting. I guess another option is the Gaia type, since it's made of wood and whatnot, and like its head's a pumpkin, but I find that to be less likely. This last salamander looking kinfolk is seen wrecking the player character in the Kickstarter trailer and has been dubbed by the community Salamander. Like I said, this creature is based off of a salamander and kind of looks cute until it opens its mouth. It kind of reminds me of King Dodongo from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but maybe it's just me. Either way, I really like its design. It's first seen emerging from the water in the Kickstarter trailer, and to be quite honest, I'm not sure if it's going to be a water type itself. Newts, which are types of salamanders, live in the water until they grow legs, but this thing clearly didn't get the memo. It's also possible that this thing is our first dual-type kinfolk, but that's nothing more than speculation and conjecture on my part. From the various typings in the game to both the known and unknown kinfolk, Kindred Fates is clearly setting itself apart from other creature collecting games and it's really making a name for itself. I look forward to continuously covering Kindred Fates up until release, and I hope you all join me for the ride. With all that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd, and until next time, peace.